welcome to part 3 of A Bunch of Dads on the Man Cave. So, Matt, let me ask you a question here real quick. How would the inclusion of mothers affect the dialogue and dynamic in the group? There are all sorts of women-only programs. We talked about that already. But and I think we kind of alluded to it, but let me get your thoughts on why is it important to have a father's-only space?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was directed towards me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little man. Sorry, man. Daddy Dude never stops, man. That's number one. Daddy Dude,
Yep.
He's asking me if he pooped in his underwear. So, yeah. Anyway, so to answer your question,
I don't miss those
No
days.
interruption.
oh, like I said, Daddy Duty never stops. So, anyways, I think incorporating, from what I gather from your question, incorporating women into the group, I'm just going to keep it simple and just say that would not be what we're looking for, I guess.
Here, I'll jump in and I'll say it'll destroy the entire dynamic.
Exactly, because with us guys, we joke around with each other. You know what I mean? That's just what we do. You know what I mean? But nothing is ever taken to heart. You know what I mean? I could say, hey, hey, Travis. You know what I mean? Why don't you quit eating those donuts, man? You're going to turn into a fatty. He's not going to get offended by it. We're going to laugh and we're going to move on. Not to say that that the majority of women out there are like that, because we're not women hating or anything like that. But it's a different dynamic from how guys interact with one another compared to how women interact with one another.
Yes.
We're not the He-Man Women Haters Club, that's for sure. We're definitely not
Exactly.
here
No,
to put
not
women
at
down
all.
and moms down. We just want
He-Man Woman Haters
everybody to be equal. Every parent should be on the same level playing field. That's the entire idea. And that's kind of what I think what we're about in total is kind of leveling that playing field. We want an even ice straight through.
Gotcha.
Water finds its level, ice finds its level, and I think that's all we want for parents is just to find the level.
Right. It's interesting commentary because you would make the assumption that you have mothers, you have fathers, and you would have an equal amount of attention and respect and cooperation and support because you're both parents. But I think what the situation is, and you guys can keep me honest, is that there isn't that support out there for fathers and there are for mothers, but I don't know that mothers necessarily recognize the fact. And I can see how when you have these conversations, I've seen some of the conversations, yeah, guys, we kind of, we poke at each other, we go back and forth. We don't take stuff personally. That's just how we bond a little bit. And we'll go from, hey, calling somebody whatever and we're playing around to, hey, my son just bumped his head. What should I do? And we can switch tracks of that without sitting there thinking, well, what did he really mean? And does he really think that about me? And all this stuff that, guys, we don't think that way. We know we're just messing with each other. That's how we bond.
Exactly.
And once we got the bonding out of the way, it's like, hey, you know what? My son's getting ready to apply for college, or he's getting ready to try out for his basketball team in AAU. What should we do? Do you know anybody? For us, it's just a natural flow of a conversation where, I don't know, maybe you guys can keep me honest here. If you had mothers in the group, it wouldn't necessarily flow in that way. You kind of have to watch the words you say and how you say it and who you're saying it to. And is that a fair statement, Travis?
All right, I've seen a few of the mom groups just from looking at my girlfriend's page, and if a mom does something that they don't agree with, it is literally like a school of piranhas jumping on one mom. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You get the condescending advice. Oh, well, I would never do something like that. Oh, I can't believe you would do that with their children. Da 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 da. That is some of the most judgmental stuff I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they get brutal with each other, and they wonder why. Dads are like, dude, you know what? I don't want no parts in this. Y'all do your own thing. It's like they're just brutal for no reason and judgmental, and we're not. That's totally the opposite of us.
Yeah, we understand how difficult it is to be a father already, and we also recognize that only other fathers are going to be able to relate to us. Mothers understand how difficult it is to be a parent, but they don't understand how difficult it is to be a father.
I think there's just a fundamental difference in the way men and women think, period. I think I saw something online, I think it was really well thought out when they said men like to put stuff in boxes. All right. We have a box for the car. We have a box for the house. We have the box for the money. We have the box for the wife. We have the box, and no boxes touch any other box. And we're very careful about that. With a woman, it's like a ball of wire, and everything is connected to everything. And they have an inability to disconnect one thing. And it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's just a different style of thinking for the most part. Not all women don't. It's not all women. I'm not going to paint you all in the same picture, but I think that's just a different style in the way we think, and I think that's kind of really true. We like to just like, here, this is what we're talking about right now. This is it. Not this, and this.
Right.
One thing.
And look, they both create balance. You need to have the ball of wire. You need to have the boxes that don't touch each other. I mean,
absolutely.
You need to have the balance. Not the one is better than the other one, but dads are all men, and so we, for the most part, understand conceptually the box concept, including my favorite box, the nothing box.
Oh, my best.
My favorite box. So when we're talking about a topic, for example, one thing I've noticed is, and maybe you guys have come across this, is when you're talking to your spouse or your girlfriend or a woman or mother about an issue, or she's talking to you, oftentimes she just wants to talk and she wants you to listen. Our natural inclination is, okay,
solve a problem.
There you go. Right?
Yep.
Now, in a bunch of dads group, we're all wired like that. Like, in our mind, it's like, okay, can I make this stop so we can solve this and move on to the next box, right? So for guys, I mean, I noticed the post, for example, it's like, hey, my daughter's having this issue. Guys jump and say, hey, I did this, I did that. And, the guy who asked the question is like, this is great, I'll try this. We're looking for a solution. We want to end the conversation, on to the next topic. And being in a group of where you have a bunch of dads, we all, I think, intuitively understand that's how our brains typically work. Is that a fair statement?
It's one of two things: entertain me or solve my problem.
Exactly. And to what I was going to say was, dads understand dads, moms understand moms.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's truth in that statement. That's how it is. Dads understand a fellow dad. Mom's going to understand a fellow mom. A mom can't come to me and say, this is such a problem. I can't help solve her problem because I don't understand. I'm not in her shoes. But if another dad comes up to me and says, hey, this is my problem, I can relate because I've worn those shoes. I'm currently wearing those shoes.
A good wife.
Well, my internet sucks, so there's that.
Okay.
From Florida.
Nothing's good coming out of Florida nowadays.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Travis, let me ask you this question. So,
Go for
it. Would you say that obviously fathers having an outlet to discuss and share and celebrate fathers, does that have a noticeable impact on fathers' relationship with their wives and their children? And if so, how would you describe that impact? So we talked about some of the obvious negative, challenging parts of it, but let's look at the positive aspects. Do you find that being part of a bunch of dads helps to a certain degree with your current relationship?
I mean, I constantly find myself, like, when we're laying in bed together late in the evening watching a movie or whatever, and it's like, babe, look at this. And it's something that, another dad is sharing in a group. Or if a dad is going through a problem, I'll be like, what do you think about that? She'll give me a straight to the point opinion. And it's never anything condescending. She's divorced, and her ex-husband, typical modern dads, kind of out of sight, out of mind, whatever. It's not my problem. He's taken that whole approach since the divorce. And the feedback that I'll get from her, it's like, wow, just the way you interact with your son, the way you interact with my kids, I love it. And it's like they love you. It's like you get down on their level, you do things with them, you talk with them, and it's amazing. And with this group, we have the chance to sit and talk with each other and get things out that some of these dads have been holding in for a long time. And by kind of cleansing your soul, getting some of that stuff out of there, you get to breathe and be like, man, I'm not the only one out there. That stress comes off you. Your kids pick up on it. Your spouse picks up on it. He's not as stressed as he normally is. He's more approachable now. I can go to him with this. I can talk to dad. I just had a bad day at practice. I want to go talk to dad. Dad'll sit down. All right, buddy, tell me about it. You can talk. You're not blowing up as much. I mean, we have that outlet that once things get to the point, it's like, all right, I'm about to break. You know what? Let me post this to the group and see if someone else has dealt with this and how they overcame this situation. And it's been phenomenal. I keep up with a lot of the dads that we've helped, and some of them will be like, man, I don't know where I would be right now without that group. My relationship has changed so much with my child, with my significant other. It's just, it's amazing. I mean, I've got a spot where I really feel like I belong. This is the best group on Facebook. When we hear dad tell us, man, this is the best group on Facebook, I wish I found this sooner. It makes everything worth it.
I think the magical phrase that you use that I've heard 1,000 times, and I don't think I ever hear it enough, is I'm not the only one. And that, I don't know that people understand for fathers particularly, because guys, we have a tendency not to talk. That's just how we're groomed.
How we were taught, yeah.
We're taught not to talk. So to know that simple thing that I am not the only one going through it, for us it's huge, because for the most part, because you don't talk, you don't know that the guy sitting next to you is going through the same thing because he's not talking either. Right? Yeah. And your cousin isn't talking, your brother isn't talking. You have no idea that we're all going through the same thing. If you enjoyed the show and want to see more, join our Facebook page called The Man Cave by Gentlemen United. All of our shows, tons of additional content, and invitations to future shows are posted there. You can add to the conversation and suggest future discussion topics. Please like, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe by clicking the Gentlemen United icon. I promise it's free. Thanks again for joining us in The Man Cave.
Enjoyed the show? Like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for joining us in The Man Cave.